Welcome back. We are here once again with two of the Mizzou greats, man, Jerry Macklin, Sean Weatherspoon here on True Sons, brought to you by TPL. We had a tough week. Last week, man, versus Vandy. I don't think any of us expected it to be this close, but sometimes that's what games do to you, especially in SEC ball, man. A team when you're ranked number, I think it was 7 at the time. Teams come in and looking to knock you off a high horse, man, and they almost did. So give me your initial reaction to watching that game, your ups and downs. I'm gonna start with J Mac on that one, man.
Well, the biggest positive is you won the football game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You always and that's the end goal, right? At the end of the
Yeah,
day, I want to score more points than the team I'm playing. So I think that's the positive. And there's good things that you can get out of it. I think the running game was solid. I think Noel had 25 for 199 or something crazy like
199.
that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, you know what I mean? So I thought that was solid. Um, I thought at times the passing game looked good. I just thought that we were just out of rhythm, man. I thought
Mm-hmm.
offense we were just out of rhythm. I thought there was a bunch of situations, like especially on some key third and fourth downs, man, that you would expect a veteran football team to convert. I thought
Yeah.
we fell a little short there. But even Brady said afterwards, well, he said two things. He said one, he said it is the best Vandy team he's faced. But he also said, man, he said offensively, man, we got to get things rolling. And he said I think that's big for him to say that. So now, anytime the quarterback says something, people have the tendency to kind of listen and pay attention a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more close.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's probably going to light a fire under people, and I think the bye week is coming at the right time. Uh, but I just haven't seen us be very fluid yet on offense. I don't know what the reason
Spoon, what you think? Initial reaction.
Well, I have some thoughts on offense too, but I'm gonna keep them.
is.
Man, just watching the game. What I saw from the defensive side of things was I saw Vandy flood our zone and get four guys going to the strength of their offense, which becomes our passing strength.
Mm-hmm.
Four guys that are looking backside, and they were able to make a play with the one receiver over there quite a few times. If the quarterback didn't see it right away, boom, he shoot up the middle. So passing lanes, the rushing lanes were something that was really big. For him to be the leading rusher, and we kind of knew he was the leading rusher already. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's something that you gotta address that. Ultimately, though, it was just responsibility football. They're coming out in that formation. They're running speed option to the boundary. They're running, the Auburn plays from the first SEC championship game we played in. It
Mm-hmm.
was the Gus Malzahn,
Yeah.
offense, and
We went
those
to that
guys
game.
we didn't have our discipline, and they were able to exploit us. And the quarterback was ultimately the reason why they played the way they played. But they just they took our momentum from missing our field goals and going forward
Yeah,
on fourth downs and things like that, and they were able to turn that into, oh, this is a fight right here. And they were tough.
Yeah.
They were tough in the middle. They were stout. Gave up a lot of rushing yards. They did to Noel, but ultimately they buckled down. But you get the win. And you can learn a lot during the
Yeah.
win. You rather learn while you're winning than losing. And we have a bye
yeah,
week, like Max said. We make sure the guys won't be hanging out too much during the bye week. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
serious bye week because you got a big foe coming up when you come back to head down to Texas and play against Texas A&M. It's gonna be a tough battle for us, but hey, we're gonna be 1-0 this weekend, so we can hang our hat on that and just
Yeah.
get better.
I think some of the things that both of you all have said on our previous weeks is that you let a team hang around and get some confidence, man. That's huge. I think J Mac said it. You let a team, make it to that second quarter, get into halftime, and the game is close. Hope is powerful. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Believe,
And
yeah.
that you start. That's what you said. You start believing it. I think that's what we saw. And there. So I kind of want to talk about some of the stats. Like as a coach, as former players, how do you make sense of the stats when we beat them in every statistical area of the game?
I would say I think it comes down to one of those things that men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. But
Mm-hmm.
in this instance, right, listen, numbers do lie, but the film doesn't lie. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Uh-huh.
So like, yeah, you beat them in every statistical category, this, that, and the third. But man, we got to be better in goal to goal situations, red zone situations, right? We got to be able to
Mm-hmm.
convert on our special teams, kicks and whatever the case may be. I did think the one kick went in. I thought it was a little crazy to me too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It looked
I
like it
thought it
went
did
in.
too. Mm-hmm.
Um,
he thought it was good too.
yeah, you know what I mean. So I think I think in the football terms, I think stats can lie, but I think the film never lies. So you go
Okay,
back and like Spoon said, you rather learn while you're winning than when you're losing. So this is gonna feel a lot better this week than what it could have had you
that's
lost that
true.
football game. Yeah. So I think you just go back, man, and you correct and you learn. And then the one thing that I want to, you know, like, emphasize that like there's no easy games in the SEC, right?
Mhm.
You've been saying that all show. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Brady said that's the best Vandy team he's faced, right? That
Mm-hmm.
Vandy team knocked off a prestigious, Virginia Tech program,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's who they beat, right? Correct?
I
I
believe
think
Yeah,
it
so.
they
was,
beat
yeah,
Virginia Tech
yeah,
in overtime.
yeah. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like they're on the up and up, right? They are happy with where they are, right? They're going to be
Hmm.
competitive in more games, all right, throughout the course of this year. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, you want to see us win, like with beating teams by 17 to it. But like at the end of the day, man, like I'm happy that we found a way to knuckle up on defense. We
Hmm.
found a way to get the points when we needed them, right?
Yeah.
They come down, they score first in overtime. We come down one play touchdown, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
you love to see those type of things. So that's why I'm still like, it's kind of glass half full kind of for me.
Mm-hmm. Spoon, talk to me about the identity. I know you and I talked briefly during while watching the game about like, all right, who we going to be? Are we going to be the team that is fearless, or are we going at times we're going to 4th and 2, punt it away? Like what? As in, not for your team, what identity do you like to see? What do you think is good for Mizzou this year?
And I think it's so early, the identity is going to
Okay.
continue to change, because, we saw those first few games against opponents that we probably should dominate, and we did
Mm-hmm.
dominate. And the identity was tackling well, not giving
Mm-hmm.
up explosive plays, those untimely plays. Like Boston College got behind us a few times, and made big plays that put them in front and had us
Mm-hmm.
chasing it. And we're at home being down. They're striking first in our place. I don't think that identity is one of the identities you want to have on your football team. So I think ultimately it's going to come down to going into the game with the mindset that we're not going down the same route we've already been down. We got to
Mm-hmm.
go out here. We have to tackle. We can't, when they run the
Yeah.
quarterback draw, we can't run around the center and try to make a play like it's kickoff return. The ball is right here. We have to engage with the center, disengage, fall off, and make a play, finish on the ball. And if we do that, I think they're not going to call those quarterback runs if we stuff them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a tough and physical defense, then teams are going to try to hit you in other areas. They're going to try to get to the edge. They're going to try to, put some eye candy in front of you and get the ball over the top. And, when they can run the quarterback, it's not something that you want to put on tape because other teams are going
Yeah.
to be looking at that. We have a lot of great
Yeah.
quarterbacks in the SEC.
Yeah.
Like we got to go down the road
Mobile.
and play some guys that are going to be moving. And no disrespect to Pavia, but man, it's some real killers in the SEC that we got to be on point for, man. So I'm a little uneasy a little bit
Hey,
about the way we're
Same.
starting these
Same.
last two
hey,
games.
listen, I was just thinking, like, seeing him and seeing what he did, like, we still got to go to Tuscaloosa and play.
Miro.
Yeah,
Goodness.
after the bye week, look what Reed's done the last two weeks, right down in A&M. So like, that
Giving them
is
hope.
one
Yeah.
thing. That's one thing, Spoon, that I was gonna maybe try to talk to you about, man. How do you correct that?
Yeah, Matt, you asked us this going into the BC week.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you do versus a mobile quarterback? And I think the question was phenomenal then. I think it's phenomenal now. What do we do,
Well,
Spo?
well, for me, it's all about knowing what you're getting into, so you're prepared for what this team does. When I talked
Mm-hmm.
about Johnny Pavia, I mean Pavia, I
Mm-hmm.
messed his first name up. I kind of likened
Diego.
him to a Johnny Manziel, Diego. I
Yeah.
kind of likened him to one of those guys that when he has the ball, his team has a chance, and their coach even said that I believe when we look
He
at it, but
did.
if it's surprising you, it's a little bit different. Like okay, you drop back, you covered everybody, and then you got a guy who doesn't really run, taking off, extending
Mm-hmm.
drives. That's a little different. But when it's something that you're going into the game knowing that this guy's the leading rusher, I think it's just discipline. I think it's discipline, eye
Okay.
discipline. When you're playing in zone coverage, you got your eyes on the quarterback. And so we can't be undisciplined and looking at the receivers and stuff just at that last moment when he decides, oh, the pressure's on me. I got to get out of here. We got to be conscientious of the fact that the quarterbacks in this conference are great athletes. And I don't care if it's Vandy, I don't care if it's Alabama, I don't care if it's Tennessee, Arkansas, Mizzou. I mean, all these
Yeah.
guys can hurt you. We
That's
have that
true.
guy, behind our center. So,
Mm-hmm.
you got to work on it in practice though, Mac. And it's kind of tough. You don't want to go out there and hit your quarterbacks, but you got to get some guys on that scout team. That I remember Kevin when he redshirted, he played scout team and he was the quarterback that got us ready for the mobile quarterbacks that we faced in the Big
Hmm.
12 back in the day. And you have to have that emphasis. Hey, we
Yeah.
need to not put that guy in a quarterback shirt either. Let's go out here and be physical. Let's get him on the ground, even if it's just one period where we thudding or tackling. Let's do it in practice so we can
Yeah.
feel comfortable about going into the game. Because I mean, it's no excuse when you know that this is their bread and butter. They're going to run the
Hmm.
option game, and this guy is an elite athlete, and it might not be as fast as our guys, but it was just something about he was a little slippery, man, and it was
Yeah.
tough to watch. My stomach was in knots. I
Oh
sent the
my
kids
goodness.
next door to Mimans. I was saying some choice words I probably shouldn't have been saying.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that the bye falls at the right time. But
Yeah. Yeah.
A&M is an opponent that means something to me because I never forget. A&M was like, yeah, we like you, we like you. Come on up to junior day. I go to junior day. Ain't no coach talk to me, Mac.
Oh man.
I see
I feel
Mike
that.
Vincent getting all the love.
I feel
I'm like,
that.
oh man, they ain't messing with me. Then they had somebody like drop out before signing day. Oh, we sent the scholarship. I'm like, oh man, it would have been nice to get a
To get
formal
this.
scholarship before like
Yeah.
trying to
For
save
the
your butt.
day.
So I really want this. Me being a Texas kid and going
Hmm.
to Kyle Field, which I mean, you look at Kyle Field, it's just a cathedral.
Yeah, it
When I
is.
look at it, I'm like, man, this is a great place to play
Hmm.
some ball. So it's gonna be exciting, man. And like you said, A&M is they're not the A&M of old. They're ranked now, and they're wanting to
Hmm.
climb, and quarterbacks
24.
been playing great.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're rolling. They got things rolling.
So now I want to talk about the locker room. I want to talk about the coach's office. I think as a fan, I'm gonna try to remove the football helmet real quick. As a fan, I can see somebody getting ready to hit the panic button. And it's weird to want to reach for that button after a win, right? And I
Yeah.
think sometimes the rankings play a part in that. You see seven versus unranked, and you see an OT win. Then you see, top 10 versus, I think BC was like 25, and you see a
Hmm.
close game. I'm like, well, did we drink the Kool-Aid? Is as a player, no. As a player, no. You never drink it. You know you have to
Yeah.
go out and go and put out good tape. But as a fan, reaching for the panic button, what is something that you say to a fan on some reasons why not? Don't reach that button just yet, or do you reach
Mm.
for it?
Man, it's SEC is the NFL, man. Like, and then you know what I mean? Like, you ain't
Tell
gonna
them, Mac.
look how the Chiefs have won the last 3 weeks. Ain't nobody hitting the panic button. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a good point. Close game, yeah.
good teams find ways to win, right?
Hmm.
Good teams find ways to win. And yeah, would you like to, you look at and it was a good game, but like Tennessee kind of, you know, for the first 3 quarters kind of dominated Oklahoma. Do you want to see
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah, you do.
Yes, you
You
do.
know what I mean? You do. But we're down 14-3 against a good Boston College team, and then we end
Hmm.
up winning by 6. So like we've seen this team dominate in stretches, right?
Hmm.
And that's what you want to see. So that's how you know where the ceiling is. Right now, it's all about
Hmm.
like putting 4 quarters together, and people don't understand, man. Like them boys on scholarship too, man. Like
They are.
Mhm.
But
so,
look,
like
go ahead, go
I
ahead.
I can have like this is why it's always tough for me to talk to like the average fan who
Hmm.
don't quite understand like how competitive,
Hmm.
right, the football game really is. Like I said, yeah, you would love to see like the big scores and the big margin of victories and everything, but like you just got to kind of keep things in perspective a little bit. And it's hard to tell the average fan that because they don't quite understand everything that goes into it, right? Like take my team instance now that I'm coaching, right?
Hmm.
We just played a team last week, end up losing, right?
Hmm.
We're probably a better football team, okay?
Hmm.
What they don't know is I had 7, 8, 9 kids in and out of practice week because they were sick. I had kids miss. You know what I mean? Like we don't
Hmm.
know what goes into like the week of preparation either. So like
Yeah, yeah,
you just until you know the whole story, you like it's tough to form like the right opinion about it. So it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
tough, man. It's tough.
For
Spoon,
me,
do you hit
for
the
me,
panic button?
for me right now, like the panic button is not even an option. I mean, we
Okay.
have expectations at Missouri. Drinkovich has had one winning season at Missouri. That was last year. So now
Mhm.
we're fired up. Everybody want, we saw the result last year. Everybody's like on edge. So it's great that we have these expectations. As
Mhm.
long as we're not dropping the game, we got to pat Drink on the butt and say good job with you guys because they persevered.
Yeah.
Being at home, being down early. This team
Mhm.
has shown that they don't quit.
They
They
don't
do
quit.
have the star power. When
Mhm.
Luther touched that ball on the first offensive play of overtime,
Mhm.
I knew we win the game. That's
Yeah.
who we are. Our guy
Yeah.
versus your guy. You know, they did a great job moving him out, double move, one on one. You find that coverage, boom, we strike right away. That gave me the confidence to say, okay, we might score again. And I know we got three, and I
Mhm.
was like, oh man. And then they had a pass interference that backed them up, and then Pavia
Yeah.
hit another run.
Right up the middle.
Yeah,
Right
he
up the
did.
middle. That hurt. That hurt.
I was kind of I was like those fans. I was looking around for that button, but it is no excuses. It's no excuses. Don't hit
Yeah.
it yet. We're
Mhm.
winning. We got a bye week. Enjoy this one. You can call all your buddies. You can talk noise to everybody because they got to go out and compete this weekend. Our guys
That's
will
true.
be getting healthy.
I
I
want to
love
That's
it.
true.
clarify though. Hey,
Yeah.
but also at in the same breath, regardless of what's going on, right? No excuses. Get the job done.
Mhm.
Right? No excuses. Get the job done, and that's what you have to do. And
That's
Yeah,
true.
man.
that's what I didn't do 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
It's tough. And they can
so
drop us. They can drop us in ranking. That's cool. Everybody,
yeah,
Tennessee flipped us last week, and we won
Yeah.
against a ranked team. I was surprised. So I'm not too surprised that we're going to be falling if we don't play up to the standard that everybody thinks of Missouri now because we're in that number. We're in that conversation as being one of the top teams in the country, not just the SEC. So it comes with that. You're going to be scrutinized, and I think Drink and his staff can handle that.
Yeah.
And the fans, we got to get it
Yeah.
together because getting 25 people kicked out of the game in the past 2 weeks is a little rough. I don't know if you guys saw that
wait, what
I
stat.
happened?
didn't know that.
What
Wait, what?
happened?
We had like at least 23 ejections of fans over the past 2 weeks at Faroe Field.
What were they
So
doing?
it's the panic button.
Oh
That
man,
panda button dangerous.
Oh yeah, man, it's
Patty Butter
tough.
or Trops? Which one is it?
That's a
It's
shout out to
gotta be
Travis Trops, man.
it's the
Columbia
sauce.
favorite. So like I'm thinking for I don't want to hit the button either. I really don't. But Mac, you said SEC ball is like the NFL, which I would say it's the closest conference to the NFL. The
Hmm?
only difference that you see is that in the NFL, the guys that you are playing against are getting paid, and you kind of say, well, they're on scholarship too. But there's
Hmm?
a bigger disparity between the guys who make it to the NFL versus one another, between the guys who get a scholarship to Vandy or some of the other schools that aren't typically the football
Yeah,
powerhouses. It's
I
not the
think
same, not the same talent.
there's a lot more parity in the college football. I think there's a lot more right now than it's ever has been. So
That's
yes,
true.
I agree with you. And you
Mm-hmm.
still have these ranking of classes, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in front of a 3 star and a 2 star right now.
That's true.
Facts.
Great point.
You see,
Okay.
you see what I'm saying? So like,
Mm-hmm.
that's all that I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
all that
that
I'm
makes
saying.
sense. Even though you may not have the name behind you, you might be a dog, and with the transfer portal, you may have been a dog somewhere else. Now you're here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
see what
all
you're
I'm
saying.
saying. Yeah,
I
that's
see
all
what you're
I'm saying.
saying. I like that.
And you
Thank you,
gotta
Mac.
tip your hat to these coaches too, man.
Yeah.
Like I saw a very well coached Vanderbilt team. Like for that the play where they scored in their first overtime.
Mm-hmm.
They're in an unbalanced 22 personnel look. Like
Yeah.
all game, they're in the inverted wishbone, running
Mm-hmm.
the triple option. Next thing you know, they're in an unbalanced look, running a play that I've seen a million times in the NFL, just full back to the flat,
Yeah.
just and
Get to
hitting
him
it right
now.
away. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw so many different formations, so many different adjustments, but I also saw the way they inspired their guys. Like if you were watching Vandy's sideline, you knew like
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not gonna be able to run the ball late in this game. Like I could feel it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I take my hat off to them. But every week it's gonna be like that in the SEC, and I just hope we end up on the right side of things.